Moving on to the Hollywood Syndicate horses this weekend, and so I think it's worth mentioning our runners yesterday. Obviously, nice day with Purple Persuasion coming back in her second run back after a forced absence after a career-threatening injury, and great to see her find the winner's box. Obviously, we had Simply Russian in the last race. He ran an absolute bomb of a race, just got beat on the line at a huge price. She jumped on terms. Then obviously Ralph the Rascal made a nice comeback run as well. He just found that trip a little bit too sharp for him.
Yeah, it was a great day, and happy to see Simply Russian actually jump out the gates, because his two previous runs he absolutely stood in the gates. And you know, with fillies, you never know if they're going to get out of that habit. And to see her come and get beat a short head was fantastic. And yeah, and Purple Persuasion won a good race. She nearly had to be put down after her injury, so fantastic for the horses to be in form at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. And it's worth mentioning out there for the punters that Travelling Lights obviously pulled a shoe in that race where Purple Persuasion won her race. So I think you can put a line through that. She's obviously a bit lame this morning, so we'll be hoping that she gets back to winning ways soon, because she is quite a talented filly. And then obviously, as we mentioned, Ralph the Rascal, the 1200 meters was a touch short, but Lyle Hewitson got off afterwards and just said he gave him such a nice feel, and the run will bring him on a lot. So hopefully stepping up to 1400 meters in the next 3 to 4 weeks, he should be thereabouts and back to showing the obvious potential that he has.
Yeah, he's had a long break, and he only finished 3.5 lengths behind him. He moved up on the inside like he's going to have a chance. So I just think it's just fitness. Next time a little bit further, I think he's definitely going to have a chance. He's lightly raced, so he's definitely a horse on an improve.
100%. Well, moving on to our runners this Saturday, we have 5 at Turfentine on the inside track, kicking off in race 1 with Purple Panther.
Well, he's my best bet, and he's a horse now. After 3 seconds, we're expecting him to win a race now, and obviously if he's a horse that Clint thinks of, I think it's a competitive race, but you'd expect him to win a race like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know you did mention, I like the Mark de Kock inmate there. I think that's probably going to be his biggest danger. But yeah, 3 seconds in a row, he drops back to 14.59. I just think if he has things his way, he's going to be quite tough to beat. I have to agree with you there. Then moving on to the 5th race, we have Strike It Like a Match from the Baron Buerta stable. He's another one that's kind of in the right handicap bracket at the moment, and he's obviously just knocking on the door for a bit of luck and running, and he should be thereabouts again.
Yeah, definitely in the right race. Only thing about him is he's drawn so badly, and I think at the end of the day, we got to leave it to Muzi and try and overcome that draw. But he's a kind of horse, he's dropped to where if he gets a good path in the race, a good running, he'll be competitive.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Look to the Sky, Josie Hustle in the 7th race. Obviously, Look to the Sky, he just seems to have lost his way at the moment, and we know how talented he can be.
Yeah, he has definitely lost his way. He's been a very difficult horse, obviously very difficult to train, and he's doing the same thing at the races. He's not giving it his best, and I think he's a horse, there's a question mark about how much longer we're going to keep going with him, but if he does come back to his best, then he's got to have a chance. But he's also drawn awkwardly, and he doesn't help himself out the gates neither, so I think he's going to find it very difficult.
Yeah, and obviously he's got quite a bit of weight to carry despite the apprentice claim. Then we have the stable companion in the race, that's Josie Hustle.
Yeah, Josie Hustle's definitely lost his way, and he's also got to start showing some kind of form, but I think he'll find it very difficult.
Yeah, and then moving on to the 8th race, should I say, Ramchandani Road, who has kind of got some decent form lines behind his name. Obviously, he just needed that run last time out. Fitness was a concern, and he pulled up distressed. But obviously, he'll have a second run after a rest now, so we'd expect him to be a little bit fitter.
Yes, a little bit concerned when they are distressed after a race, and the run is not too far away from his last run, and he's a horse, obviously, I watched his race, he over-raced last time, he pulled very, very hard in the race, and he had to compound after pulling that hard. And obviously he'll come into the race a little bit fitter, and he is a smart horse. I think if he overcomes his draw and he puts him in a very good position, he'll be competitive.
No doubt you're going to stick your neck out when I ask you who your best of the Hollywood Syndicate runners on the day, and that'll be Purple Panther in the first?
Yeah, definitely Purple Panther. I can see him winning a race.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. He's going to be a big runner in that first race for sure, and we'll hope all of them give good accounts of themselves. Moving on to Hollywood Bets Gravel, where we have our last 4 runners from the Hollywood Syndicate on Sunday. And so I mentioned to you, Mighty Smart was my value bet on the card. In the 5th race, we have the 2 horses there with Mighty Smart and Barker. We've obviously touched on Mighty Smart. He looks like he's got the form lines. He's dropping in class now. And with Luke Ferraris up, he should be a big runner. Barker obviously finished behind Mighty Smart in that last start, so he may just be held by the former.
Yeah, he's also got an awkward draw, and he's a horse that doesn't have as much speed, so he's going to have to find himself a little bit behind, and he's a horse who's going to run on. You know, he's since he's won his maiden, he hasn't run too far off them. So, but I think he's going to find it difficult to win a race like this. I can't see him beating Mighty Smart.
Yeah, it's a very competitive handicap, but as you mentioned, you know, he's been knocking on the door for a while for some big improvements, and he is dropping in the ratings. But as far as our select in the race is concerned, I'd have to say it's Mighty Smart. I think he's going to just about win the race if all goes to plan, and he gets over from that draw. Then moving on to the 9th race, we have Alpha Mike Foxtrot and Binary Star. And it's obviously Alpha Mike Foxtrot, he's an old campaigner now. He's knocking on the door for that next win if it ever comes. You know, you've spoken to Daryl Moore. He's got Kabila Matsanyani up doing duty this Sunday. What have you heard?
Well, he's running in a 1200 because there's no races for him. We're trying to get him into a 1400, which I think is, for him now getting older, is going to suit better. He finds a 1200 a little bit sharp for him, and he can't really stay with them. So I think he's going to find himself a little bit behind and having to make up a lot of ground. But I'd prefer to see him a little bit further.
Yeah, 100%. So I have to agree with you. I think he's kind of lost his early speed now, and that 1400 is what he's going to be looking for. Moving on to Binary Star, he's been a bit of an enigma, unfortunately. Since coming back from arrest, he's really run disappointing in both of those two starts. And we'd obviously like to see a bit of improvement, but it's going to be tough from barrier 9 and a 1200 meters at Hollywood Bets Grable.
Yeah, well, that draw is going to make it difficult because the horse that over races in the race, and last time he pulled himself stupid, and that's why he ran so bad. And the previous start, he missed the start and he raced 3 wide. So he's a horse, he's had no luck, and he's got no luck again. He's drawn badly. It's an apprentice race. Let's hope they go really quick and he can find himself halfway back. And he's the kind of horse, when he pulls a good draw, he'll be very competitive.
Yeah, you just think that he's going to show some improvement soon. You know, he's got it in him. We know that, and you know, obviously he's dropping in the ratings now. So, but yeah, I mean, he stood losing 3 lengths last time, so that just didn't do him any favors at all. So he'll have to jump on terms this time, and hopefully with a bit of luck and running from barrier 9, he can overcome the draw. And if they do set a good clip like you mentioned, he'll be running on at the finish.